The courtroom was packed to the brim, every seat filled, the air thick with anticipation and quiet murmurs. Reporters huddled together with cameras poised, pens tapping nervously against notepads. The case of Representative Jasmine Crockett had dominated the headlines for weeks, and now the nation's eyes were on the tall, commanding figure seated at the bench, Chief Justice John Roberts. Roberts, a man known for his composure and unshakable adherence to the law, adjusted his glasses and scanned the room. He had presided over countless high-profile cases, but this one felt different. The allegations against Crockett were tangled in politics, accusations of misconduct, and a public that was split right down the middle. Jasmine Crockett stood confidently at the defense table, her dark suit crisp, her eyes locked on the Chief Justice. She was no stranger to public scrutiny. Her fiery speeches and refusal to bow to pressure had earned her both staunch allies and bitter enemies. Still, there was something in the way she held herself today, an almost defiant calm. Representative Crockett, Roberts began, his voice deep and resonant, after reviewing the evidence, testimonies, and the repeated defiance of court orders, this court imposes a fine in the amount of $200,000, payable within 30 days. Like our video, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Gasps erupted in the gallery. $200,000. Even for a public figure, it was a staggering penalty. Crockett's attorneys shifted uneasily, whispering in her ear, but she didn't look at them. Instead, she stepped forward, straightening her posture, and addressed the bench directly. Chief Justice Roberts, she said, her voice steady, I respect the authority of this court, even when I disagree with its rulings. But I want to make something very clear, this fine is not going to break me. It won't silence me, and it won't erase the truth I came here to defend. Roberts studied her carefully, expecting the usual rehearsed political statement, but what came next pierced through the formalities. When I was a little girl, she continued, my family lived in a small house with a leaky roof. My mother worked 2 jobs, my father walked 3 miles to a night shift just so we could keep the lights on. We didn't have much, but we had our voices. My mother used to tell me, if they take everything from you, don't let them take your voice. Her words hung in the room, heavy yet raw. This fine, she said, glancing around at the cameras and reporters. It's just money. Money can be earned again. But my integrity, my fight for the people who sent me here, that's something I will never sell. Not for $200,000, not for $2 million. The gallery was silent now, every ear tuned to her. Even Roberts, who had weathered decades of sharp legal exchanges, felt a twinge in his chest. He tried to maintain his judicial mask, but her words had cut through in a way he hadn't expected. She stepped closer, lowering her voice but keeping it firm. You can find me, you can try to humble me in public, but I will still walk out of this courtroom with my head high. And when I speak again, because I will speak again, it will be for those who have no microphone, no platform, and no power to fight back. Roberts looked down at his papers, trying to refocus, but the lump in his throat betrayed him. In that moment, the gavel in his hand felt heavier than it ever had. She wasn't just addressing him, she was speaking to the entire nation, to the idea of justice itself. Representative Crockett, he began, then stopped. His voice wavered. For the briefest moment, the mask of the Chief Justice slipped, and the man underneath was visible, a man who understood the weight of what had just been said. He cleared his throat, nodded slowly, and simply said, "You are dismissed." Crockett turned, her steps steady, her chin lifted. As she walked past the rows of onlookers, cameras flashed, but she didn't stop. Outside, the crowd roared in support, chanting her name. Inside, John Roberts sat in silence for several moments after the room emptied. The echo of her words lingered, and against his will, a single tear slipped down his cheek. It wasn't the money, he realized. It was the reminder, sharp, undeniable, that the law was not just about rules and penalties. It was about people, and sometimes, even from the bench, you could be reminded of that in the most humbling way.